I actually got red air in a few places. The Entente is still fighting on. Austria is doing their best with the air control, but there's just so many of them. And now the Entente is just attacking along a wide front because they know they can. There's actually 22 German divisions here being held up by 2 divisions of Brazilians and Americans. And these American tanks, they're just so good. Clarence Huebner, hero of the war. Hero Huebner. Huebner the horrifying. Huebner the heroic. Huebner the hench. Huebner the horrific. Huebner the heavy. Heavy Huebner. That's GG. Germany can't make a comeback. Yeah, as soon as you lose those 7, it's over. Like, Germany had so few heavy tank divisions anyway for 1942. Like, they had, what, 6? 7? 7. Chadbania. Here's Albania and AI. Yep. Chadbania indeed. And I don't think anyone can really do anything about this. Like, Bulgaria has brought in 3 units, but Albania is just going to take out Greece at this rate. And it does look like the Reichspakt is going to gain the lion's share. Sorry, the Entente is going to get the lion's share of the Reichspakt. Meaning that CoPro, they've just been so passive. They've been way too passive. The war taking so long in Iran is what kind of did this for the CoPro. Like, yeah, they have a lot of infantry. Yeah, they have a lot of land. But the Entente's attacking power is just so stupendously strong. So what are we expecting to see here? I'm expecting the Entente to take out the Reichspakt and take most of their industry, which they can add to their already burgeoning industry from the fall of Britain, the fall of Europe, and also, you know, America. And then the next question will be, where is the war going to be next? Is it just going to be this grueling land attrition across Europe, which honestly would play into the CoPro's strengths because they just have the sheer frontage that they can do that? Or is this going to be death by 1,000 cuts, where the Entente just lands here, there, and everywhere? Landings in India, knock India back. Landings in Japan. Like, an American invasion of Japan would be really bad for them. Oh, we've got a Brazilian invasion of Sweden going on as well, so I'm going to take a look at Brazil, because I haven't had a huge look at what they're doing for a while. And we've got a couple of their shark units going straight for Oslo. We've got another naval invasion here with the Americans coming in, although they're actually under Brazilian control. So Brazil doing some nice little hit and runs, basically. Making a nuisance of themselves. And this is exactly what Brazil wants to start doing against, like, India and Japan, I think. Just make a nuisance of themselves. Force the CoPro to redeploy. Force them to waste hundreds of divisions just guarding their enormous coastline, while the American armor does its work in Russia. That's how I think the Entente need to win this. The Entente have taken the lead. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because the CoPro has just been so passive. Like, they're sitting on 2 points still. The Entente have 11, Reichspakt has 7, and then CoPro have the same number of points as Third International. 2. And they've not gone above that, because they just haven't attacked anyone. And this is very much become the Entente show. Oh, we're paused.
Hey, Mordred. The 10-minute break begins now.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Alright, so 10-minute break, everyone. I'm going to go and set my clock for that now, because I'm going to go and grab myself a snack, because I'm getting a bit hungry. And that was my tea supply. I haven't actually had a chance to drink that much of it. So I think I'm going to go and make myself another throat soother, because I got a D&D game after this. In fact, I'm going to take a moment to say, we got D&D after this. If you would like to see myself dungeon mastering a Dungeons & Dragons game, then you should definitely go and check out the Digital Dragons, so twitch.tv/Digital Dragons. I will link us in the chat after this, because we got some Icewind Dale hype to go immediately after this campaign, so I hope you'll join us for some Dungeons & Dragons goodness too. But for now, we're going to take a 10-minute break, so I'm going to set a clock for 15:15. 22:15, 0, start. Because it's break time. Break. Go get yourselves a drink, refresh your food supplies, stretch a little bit, and then do that. Did I not notice your drink tea battle tank? I didn't, because I've been a little bit busy focusing on stuff going on the screen. Alright, break time. That's an hour. That's the wrong time. I meant 21:15, 0. There we go. I think we're good. Bulgaria took 2 states. Albania has been annexed. So are we actually missing anyone? Here's the question. So there's no India. There's no Russia. No Sweden. Third international we know about. So yeah, it's just the fact that India and Russia are not here. Mario, we did get into Japan. Happy is here. So yeah, it's just those two. Well, I guess that Germany has just gained themselves a slight reprieve. Seeing as there's no Russia to be gunning for them. Meanwhile, massive counterattacks going on in the south of France at the moment. At the moment, it looks like France is going to hold in all of these positions. This looks like a all-out attack mostly by Bulgaria and Germany. Meanwhile, surrounding Magdeburg, pushing north towards Denmark. Denmark, of course, being in the Reichspakt. We got Brazil, or rather the Americans under the control of Brazil, storming across Sweden at the moment, taking over much of Norway and then moving into Sweden proper. Africa, I'm not really expecting any changes to. We do have big switches here. I'm sorry, no big switches here. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, they were talking. I'm trying to read what they were saying. Didn't expect the Entente to succeed this well. I thought the Reichspakt had it. The problem the Reichspakt had is they weirdly had far too few heavy tanks. And there we go. Collapse of the Reichspakt. Massacres of the Weltkrieg have been avenged. And with that, we have the crumbling, I would imagine, of the Reichspakt. There is no Middle Africa for Germany to retreat to. There is not going to be a Germany in exile. So is this basically Germany capitulating? No, not quite. They are close, though. And Kobrin is now the capital of Ukraine, but Ukraine is pretty much gone. And now they are on the borders of Austria. The French motorized marines, the American heavy tanks just barging in. And the Entente are now at 1.4 thousand factories compared to Co-Pro's 1,050-ish. So they have about 350 more factories than Co-Pro do at this stage. So Co-Pro have gobbled up Ukraine. But at the moment that looks like it. So the Entente have definitely slowed in their assault on France and on Spain. And there are a lot of Bulgarian armor down here, so Bulgaria could still hold out in that region. Although the Russians are now on the Bulgarian front as well. And if we switch over to Russia, this is now controlled by the AI. And there's probably going to be some serious moving of troops around, and then probably just a whole bunch of random attacks, which honestly is probably worse for the players, because you're just going to have these constant assaults going along the entire front line. Like, the AI can be pretty relentless in that. And yeah, AI would just spam attacks. Which, considering the extent of their German front line... And Germany's just capitulated. Hello.
Our last international player, the Commune, is about to leave. He wanted to know if you wanted like an after action report from him.
Yeah, sure, that would be interesting.
All right, bring him in. Here you go, Necron.
Hey, Necron.
Hello there. Yes.
So, how do you think things went for the Internationale this game?
Swimmingly great, actually. We won so hard that we just, it came back around and we lost again. Really nothing we could have done different there.
I did find it amusing that you continued the war on from your new Swedish holdings. And then...
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I had real, we had some real plans to get back into that game. But after that invasion into Oslo, that we failed to properly defend. That was kind of the, straw that broke the camel's back.
Mm-hmm.
Major morale drop in the team. We got some people dropping out. I switched over to the Union of Britain, but when you have to, get into an entirely new country and figure everything out, and just kind of got overwhelmed.
Yeah, and I'm honestly really surprised that the invasion of Britain took them as long as it did. I was expecting it about a year previously because they were in a really good position to do it, and they just never actually just pressed the button.
They did try, but at that point in the game, I had my exile, medium tank divisions from France there. They could just crush everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the fate. And wait, no, that wasn't actually the Entente. That was the Reichspakt.
That was Reichspakt, yeah. After the fall of Ireland, they were poised to invade mainland Britain. Yeah. They just never did.
They never did. I'm not entirely sure. Wait, I remember something there being about them being extremely annoyed about the Irish sub ratings.
I would hope so, because those tier 4 subs were kind of scary.
Those were pretty good. I was pretty proud of the Irish player there.
Yeah, we were rooting him. We were rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah. Like, at the very end of the last session, that was kind of sad because, everybody was so tired. Like, few of our people, are, from Australia. So they were, getting, blank brain. So that last invasion, the only thing it did was put the Entente on its toes, and we couldn't do it again at the start of this session, invading Ireland.
Yeah.
It probably could have been possible otherwise, but that we tipped them off with that half-assed invasion where half the team was just going oh, we're invading Ireland? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the greatest problems that your team faced, is it just didn't seem to have communicated that well. You were all doing different things.
Oh, I don't know about that, but at the very least at the end of that session, that was definitely the case.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the Italian disaster.
Yeah, that kind of started the ball rolling on the alley of disaster.
Everything was looking fine. There was looking over, just I don't know, 10 seconds before the capitulation was going hey, Italian Socialist Republic, what about the Italian Republic?
Yeah.
And they were oh, whoops. Yeah, apparently there had been some miscommunicate. Well, I wouldn't say miscommunications, but he didn't know that they declared war on him, or would eventually declare war on him if he took too long with conquering them. Because usually he declared on the Italian Republic first, and then you can capitulate them before the Sicilians intervene.
Yeah, I did wonder if the whole Italian reunification could have gone a little bit quicker, but I haven't played Italy for a really long time, so I wasn't sure.
No, honestly, alright, then I'll leave you to spectate the last destruction of Europe after they have, been ripped from the hands of the workers. And
and apparently the Germans now as well. I mean, you can at least say that the Copro and the Entente are getting you some good revenge here, because Germany is getting absolutely splintered. In fact, Germany's already capitulated. It's now just Austria and Bulgaria.
What you don't know is that all this time, syndicalist sleeper cells have been implanted in every nation around the world, and when this game ends, just when the curtains fall, I will be standing in Buenos Aires and press a button, and then you'll see the Workers' Revolution.
And it's going to be really weird, because it's going to be the Workers' Revolution in Britain, and in France, and in Italy, and in Spain, and it's going to be just nothing has changed for next week. It's going to be bizarre, isn't it?
Exactly. It's almost as if he turned back time to 1936 again.
Madness. Absolute madness.
Absolute madness.
Anyway, things are now happening again, so I should probably leave you be. But thanks again for talking to us, and thanks again for just being a really good sport. Like,
Yes.
seriously, I cannot express how much that is appreciated enough.
And thank you for streaming.
Yeah, no worries. I enjoy these.
Enjoy the show.
All right. Okay, so that was Black Necron, who was the France player in this. And like I said, even though France did do poorly during the game itself, they stuck at it. And I have so much appreciation for players who don't just quit when things go wrong and continue to try and struggle on, even though their position is fairly hopeless, because they can still affect the game. They can still change the outcome in new and interesting ways. Like, had the Union of Britain just quit, for example, the Reichspakt probably would have just taken Britain, which would have completely changed this dynamic, because where would the Entente then have attacked through? So the fact that they played on, the fact that they continued in Sweden and made sure that Sweden remained weakened, it's had an impact. It's had a very real impact, because the Reichspakt basically had to do without the Swedish medium tanks, which are usually produced. Ireland was the most fun nation for me to watch. Yeah, I agree. Like, Naval Ireland, revelation. I like the idea. So well done to Team Lazarus. Highly appreciate that. So it kind of looks like the French forces over here are starting to lose some ground, and we're actually starting to see a couple of the German heavy tanks in particular striking back and pushing a little bit further north, maybe even trying to get a dividing line here. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, it is just these weird outliers of troops, which I guess they're basically just letting the Co-Pro take out, because the Entente is not at war with the Co-Prosperity Sphere yet. While the Entente is just taking out the rest of France, taking out the rest of Italy, and in fact, the southern invasion from Sicily has now begun, and also the invasion of Bulgaria, led, of course, by the American heavy tanks. And the Americans at this stage must be absolutely churning those bad boys out. Yeah, they've got 16 of these things now, with Clarence Hubner still very much taking the lead. And Clarence has now finally learned how panzers work and has become a panzer expert, which is going to make him even more dangerous. Oh no.
Under fire.
Oh no, oh no. He could still take offensive doctrine. Oh, why haven't you done this yet? That's an extra attack point. And there we go. Somalia and Ethiopia has died, you know, killed by the Entente while they were taking out the Reichspakt at the same time. There is a Viking-focused total war game. Yeah. Thrones of Britannia. I have played it numerous times on stream. Isn't Thrones of Britannia accepted to be quite bad? No, I think that's an unfair analysis. It's not as good as, for example, Attila. I'm not going to deny that. But Thrones of Britannia is very much another Attila. Attila got a bad rap because it was released so soon after Rome 2, and Rome 2 was bad when it first released. And Attila, unfortunately, got painted in the same brush. So nobody really played it. But if you really want a good Total War, Attila is the one to play. And Thrones of Britannia, like, it does one thing badly, and that is the fact that they removed garrisons from the minor settlements. So there is a mod which adds garrisons to the minor settlements. It is revolutionary. Just get that one mod, and it's fine. They tried an experiment. The experiment didn't work. That's all it is. And that is an experiment based on the weakness of Attila, which is the fact that you have to fight a lot of minor settlement battles, especially as the Western Roman Empire, and those get repetitive, because you're in the same map over and over and over again with the same garrison units. But it just isn't as big a problem in that. Okay, so they have just capitulated the remnants of the Reichspakt. Austria and Italy have gone. Bulgaria continues to fight on, because they are not in the Reichspakt.
Hey, Mordred, should
Hello.
I bring in the Reichspakt so they can talk about their game? Because
Sure.
they're conceding now. It's pretty much over.
I think that would be interesting.
All right.